Have you ever been in a situation talking to someone where you ask a question and you feel you're not getting the full picture? It happens in coaching sessions, and there are typically two reasons to this that we will explore. The first is if the person doesn't realize that they aren't giving you the full answer, whilst the second is when they do and they know they're holding something back. So let's start with the first one, where the person doesn't realize that they haven't fully told you what's going on. Let's take an example. And imagine you're working with a team member and you ask them how they're feeling working on a particular project. The person replies back saying that they're feeling frustrated. Now typically what a lot of people would do at this stage is ask what is frustrating the other person, and possibly a great manager will also offer to help or find ways to minimize that frustration. This of course is great and well-intentioned. However, what the manager hasn't done here is to try to understand what frustration really means to the person, because the word frustration can mean different things to different people. Every day we use language to describe what's happening in our life, what's on our mind, and how we're feeling. Sometimes though, that language that we use can be quite limiting. It could be tricky to really verbalize how we feel or what we think. So when you notice that someone uses a word to explain their feelings, ask them to describe it before moving on to actions. So ask, how else could you describe this feeling before you ask, what can you do to feel less frustrated? Ask, where do you feel this frustration before you ask, what can I do to help you feel less frustrated? Now the second reason why someone might not paint that full picture is because they're withholding something. They're actively not telling you, and in this case avoid questions and focus more on empathy and use statements. So say, I can imagine this must be hard for you, or help me understand what's happening. Sometimes staying silent will also work. So always check, is the person not telling me something because they don't realize that they've not told me? Or is it because they're actively not wanting to say? You can decide then whether to ask a question or use a statement. It's a great little tip to keep in mind in coaching sessions or when managing people.